Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I have missed you all. I wonder if I can zoom out a little bit. There, that's better. I have messy gloves, which is why I had to lay the phone down. This is my paper making station, which you've seen before, but it's been reworked a little bit. My workshop is not that big. It looks bigger on camera than it actually is. This room is about 10 by 10, so it fills up really quickly. And I like to have stations to be able to do things efficiently. Like that's my journal making station with paper in the cabinet and paper up there. Book covers sitting there so I can just pull one down. But over here, let me show you some of the things that I've been doing. I have some tea from some loose tea. And you know, it was just in the cabinet and I couldn't remember where it came from or what kind it was or how long it had been in there. It was just in a bag. So I think it was bought loose at one point, or maybe I emptied it from the container it was in. But look at this color. I'm just gonna stain some paper today and maybe hang it outside because it's kind of warm and I think it will dry quickly and be pretty from hanging on the line. So I'm just putting it into the water today. The other thing I've been working on is making some paper, and I want to show you how I do that. I actually have one of the children's sets. This is the yellow tray that goes with it. It's a National Geographic set, and I love it. I learned a lot. That was like a very good intro to making paper. And I'll show you how I use that. I just came out to the workshop and noticed these two deer laying out here, two does. And it makes me happy that they just stay right there. Now I'm not really happy that they eat my plants, but it has been a while since I've seen everybody. I think it's been a full week, which is not like me. I do have times though where I get really busy and I have to step away, and this past week has been one of those times. I just got through cutting up. Let me grab it real quickly. I'm right here. I was cutting out some of these from the stamp I have that talks about this being an individually crafted work of art. I thought I would put a few of these in the pen pal packs that I'm currently making. These are some little leftovers, but I tried to cut them out so that the paper was still in one piece, because you know I'm always getting these crazy ideas just to work with whatever's around. I hope this sprays. These inks have a tendency to get clogged up. See, I thought it would be fun to have a piece of paper with just the squares, as best we can, you know. And maybe I will end up using. Ooh, how fun. I'll end up using this somehow. So let's just move this away. I did want to show you a few things. This is like just a catch up journal. Not catch up, but catch up. I've got these little posts that were taped to an antique scrapbook. I don't know. Do these pieces fit together? Oh, they do. So I guess the string goes through there. I thought it was just 4 posts that didn't work. So maybe I should save these. I don't know. What do you think? I thought I might I better save these. I was going to put string through them and tie them to a journal as charms. Oh, will I ever use these? Will I ever actually use these for anything? I don't think I will. So I am going to go ahead and use them for charms. And if I put them in a little drawer somewhere, I will forget that I even have them. So let's move this paper to the side, and let me get this stack, and let me just get some plain white paper. I have quite a few Chinese paper cuts, and they're just sitting in a folder on the floor next to my desk. A lot of people mat them and frame them, and you know, the way I'm doing it, it's probably gonna lose some of the color. It'll probably seep into the Mod Podge over time, but I just almost completely filled up a journal that you all haven't seen in a long time, maybe over a year. And it started out as a bird journal, And it's still sort of a bird journal, but I ended up adding a lot of my keepsakes. Sandra, some of the things you sent to me, some of the letters that they're in that book, things that I wanted to keep. I've got photos in there, just different things. Now these things are so thin and so delicate. It's so that one laid down flat. That's great. I want to be able to put these pages into that book, and I need a really nice coat of adhesive that's thin but consistent so that these stick everywhere. And we'll put these, see that ran the ink a little bit there, I think. This might be as good as it gets, as they say. I'm just tired of these being on the floor, you know, and no matter what happens, I want these in the book that I'm working on. So let's put some adhesive on this side. Where have I been, you might ask? I've been here. I've also been at my job. Some of you know that I have a job out in a retail store, and I actually applied for a promotion in the company. I really like my job a lot. I'm surprised at how much I do like it, but I did get the promotion, so I'm very excited about that. Very excited, and it has just kept me really busy this week. In addition to that, Jason and I got back out on the Eno and did some hiking, and it was amazing. So we went to a trail called the Pump Station Trail, and it's where the old water source treatment plant, whatever they called it at the time, I think it was built. I'll put pictures here while I'm talking to you. It was built in the late 1800s and actually served the city of Durham for quite a few years. And there were people living along the Eno years ago. So there are like places where people sort of dumped their bottles and things. There is one particular place where you see a lot of broken glass, and also occasionally a whole unbroken bottle or jar will come to the surface. I like to look for bits of pottery, like old dishware, probably from the 40s, maybe the 30s. And even if it's broken, I like to turn it into pendants and stuff by wrapping it with wire or just putting it in the garden. And so the Eno is a place you're not supposed to disturb any wildlife. So you can't dig up plants. You're not supposed to take rocks and wood and things like that. But I feel differently about the broken glass. I don't think the broken glass should be out there. There are places where people have found things, and it's almost like there will be a pile of broken glass, so it's like a little memorial or something to what used to be. And those things are really neat to just leave undisturbed. I don't know, it's just part of that area. The buildings, all of the old brickwork, it is absolutely beautiful. It's falling apart, so it's basically just ruins in a way. But you can still see the structure. There's something very beautiful and romantic about it, with the moss growing and different flowers, different vines. I saw what I thought was a turtle shell, and when I got close to it, the turtle was fine, which I was really glad. It was just hiding, and it was down in a really pretty, like the bottom half of a building that used to be there. So I'm trying to figure out, I think the coloring is the same on both sides. You can see how delicate these are. And you can also see, oh my goodness, hello. You can also see where that left a bit of color. See that? So this is just one of those things. This is probably, like I said, not optimal the way I'm doing this. And it's so much nicer if you can lay it down flat the very first time. But again, I'm tired of these being in a folder at my feet. Even if they fade, I think they're going to be beautiful in my journal. And I'll show you once I put these in. So that takes care of that one. And let's do another one. So I have had just a really busy week. And I still consider my journal business, my art, I consider it that's my first love. Like, that's my primary job. But this past week, everything has been sort of upside down in a way because of, getting back out and hiking. And I cleaned up some in the workshop too. So I will show you around at the end of this video so that you can see how everything is looking out here. I really like it. I had made stations out here, and I know I've showed that before so that it's just organized and easy to get to everything. And because I do make journals and sell them, I have a system where I can make the journals and get to everything easily on a regular basis, but I had kind of lost control a little bit of some of those stations. I'm just going to lay these behind me on the floor so they can dry. But I reclaimed some of my spaces just by going through, pulling out things that I really haven't used and getting rid of those things. I've got 3 or 4 bags of stuff to donate. I also have a stack of paper that I would like to sell just in a flat rate box. It's all sorts of bits and scraps of paper. And then just kind of organizing again and looking at everything. So let's make sure that the color is the same on both sides. I think it is on these. But sometimes, oh good grief. But sometimes when I get it on the paper, I think, wait, did the other side actually look better? I can't think what else has been happening around here. I've been busy in the garden some. Had enough lettuce and mustard and spinach to make some fresh salads, which has been really nice. Small salads. I'm still getting used to trying to grow a garden here. Let's bring these back up on the desk so they can dry and not be in the floor. Don't want them on top of each other. This is what the clothesline looks like right now. All of this beautiful pink paper, and that is just some loose tea that is sticking to the paper. I think that's going to be fine. And when the paper dries, that's going to just fall right off, so it's not a problem. And then going inside, let's see all the paper hanging in here. I do have a little clothesline in here, and I don't care if the water drips on that rug. So you'll notice I took my shindy or chindi rugs out. I like to change things up, and I kind of wanted to just go back to the gray utilitarian rug in here. I don't care if it gets messed up, but I have this, it's kind of like just netting or tulle, this long ribbon of it that drapes across, and it's really light, so when there's not anything hanging on it, it kind of bounces back up out of the way. I know the angle is sort of funny here, so don't worry about that. I want to make sure you can see this jar. I have this leftover beautiful water that I want to use to make some paper, but I really don't want these pieces of tea in here. So I'm going to save the water. Let me dump this out and I will be right back. I'm back, and I did bring a little water in from outside. Let's see, I can't see well enough to do that. And there, let's put the water in here. We're going to blend up some paper. And this is where my container always sits that I put my tray into to pick up the bits of paper. Now I want to strain this so that we don't get all of that loose tea in here. But I definitely want that color. It's so beautiful. Now let me get rid of this. Okay. I keep scraps of paper, especially just white paper that I don't use, and I tear it up and put it in a blender with water. And this is a blender that came from a thrift store. That's why it has the little tag on it that says it works. And I only paid maybe $3 or $4 for it. So even if it didn't work, I was going to go ahead and just take a chance at that price. Put more paper in here. I never put my hands far enough in to touch the blade. You know, just in case. Now, I've got little bits of bright pink paper. I don't think I want that for this. I just want white paper. I did put some bright pink in the last batch I made. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and blend that up. I'm going to add a little more water. You want plenty of water to be able to put your screen down into the water and pick up the paper. And now I'm going to pour this into my pink water. Let's just take the lid off. Hello. And now you can see, sometimes I wear gloves. I'm not at the moment. And this is not any kind of synthetic dye. This was from a natural fruit black tea mix. So, and there's one strip of paper that didn't get, we'll lay that up there in that basket. So the paper set that I have came with this tray. Let me pull it down. I keep it up here. See, the water is really dark, but I came back with some light rose petals, and that is one of the reasons my paper station, I have dried flowers everywhere. Anytime I get my hands on flowers that I can dry, I bring them home and dry them. I'm afraid this video is going to be so long it won't upload, but I just scooped up a tray full of this paper pulp that ended up with sort of the gray looking color, and you know, I added the light petals in. The last piece, it just turned out so pretty. I wanted to show you, so I'm putting this cleaning cloth over the top, pressing out some water, and I'm even going to pick it up and take it over above here and press some of that out by putting one hand on each side of the screen. I can't do it because I'm holding the phone. I'm going to press some more over here and really get into the corners, because that's where, if it's going to stick anywhere, it seems like in the corners and along the edges is where it sticks. Can I do this with one hand? So this is where, see, when you turn it over this way, so I slapped it down so hard that the paper bent over. It normally doesn't do that, so don't pay attention to that part, okay? If I was doing it with two hands, I don't think that would have happened. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and put this other cloth on top. We're going to bring our press over, and you know, this, I don't know if this press is meant to get more water out. That's what I use it for. It would help if I look at the instructions again. But like I said, I really don't use this. I just use that, and I may be using the wrong side, but I like the results that I get. So basically, to make paper, you just need a screen, you know, and so I press that down, and sometimes I will bring it over here and put one hand on each side and really press, and more water will come out. But we're going to say this is good for now, and let's go ahead and take these off. So here's our paper. Now let's come down here. Like I said, I leave pieces of paper on the floor to, you know, to put the paper on to dry. So let's pull off this side. Oh my goodness, so that's, the paper actually came off. I thought I was just pulling off the cleaning cloth. So let's lay this down. So let's lay that down, and now we have to get this one off. Let's get the corner started. It seems like it comes off pretty easily. Now I saw a little place where it's sticking, so let's tear in this direction or pull in that direction. And of course one of our little petals came off. That's okay. We do have some that are sticking, and I think that's going to be really pretty when it dries. And then here's the piece that has the baby's breath, and then there's another piece with the petals. I think we have so much to show for our efforts today. Hang on, and let me close the studio door before a deer tries to come in, or a creature of some kind. Okay, I don't know where to start, but this is all already dry. And like I said, see, it's gonna have a few little pieces of tea on it, but that just comes right off. And then I vacuumed the workshop. These are beautiful. I love this mottled color. And then these were the ones that were outside. So it's different types of paper. Such a beautiful pink. That first water that I had with just the tea staining, it got really dark. And I don't know if maybe there's still some iron and rust that could be a residue on the inside of that plastic container. It doesn't look like it. It could also just be that black tea. And then of course when I mixed it with the paper that does have some gray in it, I mean, it just does. It probably darkened everything. Anyway, my hands are so stained right now, and I've got to go to work tomorrow and cut fabric for people. So I'll just be explaining all day. Anyway, look at this. It's so beautiful. And look at how this turned out. So this is a different kind of paper, and it didn't really take right here. It's just on the edges. I think it's beautiful. I love this. But just lots and lots of stained paper for my art journals. Oh, we have the little birds that we put onto the paper. I have a few more of those in here somewhere. So we don't have to look at every single sheet. But another thing, I love just laying it across the line like that, and then it's almost ready to go as a journal page. And then the handmade paper is just so awesome. I have some little sheets that I made the other day, and that's using the screen that came with the National Geographic kit. I have these pieces that had cloves in the water, so they smell so good. And then this was mostly white paper with, as you can see, some dark rose petals. I hope you can see how pretty that is. So it's just really pretty. I'm gonna put a piece of each one of these into the Pen Pal packs that I'm about to list again. I made another round. So these larger pieces of paper, they came from this larger screen that I have. And you can see, I'm not sure what it was made for. This could be a very cool drying rack for herbs or something like that, even though it's not that big. I just cut a small piece of screen, like window screen, to fit inside, and it works perfectly to make paper. You know, it has a ledge on each side, which you don't necessarily want. There are different ways to make your own, but that is where this paper came from. And I've thought about pressing some of this paper to make it really smooth. I don't know. I'm still learning, but I love all of this. I love having it to use in my junk journals and my art journals. And speaking of journals, this one is currently listed in my Ko-fi shop. I will put the link below. This is one that I made with the last Pen Pal pack. And you can see I've done already some original artwork in here. I always like to make something to show everyone what my thoughts are about the packs and just give you ideas for what you can make. Not that you need that. Everyone here is so creative. But I kind of want to just go ahead and send this one out to a new home because I want to get back to my Lost Girl journal. And this was just a lot of fun. You can see there's still plenty of room for whoever gets this to work in it. The price started a little bit higher last week. I listed it but didn't have time to do a video, so I don't know how many people even knew that it was listed in my Ko-fi shop. But I came down on the price this week, and you know, every week that it doesn't sell, I will come down a little bit. To a certain point, of course. It has the original artwork, and I do like it a lot. But I'm ready to send this out to a new to a new home where it can be treasured and where you can continue to work in this. Okay, I'm going to close for now. I'll be back to show you the Pen Pal packs, and hope everybody has a wonderful day, is having a wonderful day, and bye for now.